guys, and welcome to your soft and subtle Pilates class today. So whether you are just feeling like you want a really nice, relaxing Pilates class, short and sweet, then this would be a great one for you. Or if you're a complete beginner, then this is a great place for you to start as well. So we're going to do a whole body Pilates class, but we're not going to use any advanced options. We're simply going to go back to basics and start from the beginning. So a little bit of strength and a little stretch at the same time. So when you're ready, I invite you to start lying down today. So we're going to come onto our mats. We're going to lie down on our backs. Let's have our feet flat on the ground, feet parallel, heels quite close to the bottom. Knees are parallel, they don't knock in towards one another. Placing the hands down by your sides, palms of the hands on the ground. Inviting the shoulder blades to come together, just pressing the shoulders into the mat without arching too much into the lower back. Let's start to activate the core at the same time. I invite you to take a couple of breaths with the arm movements. So we inhale, sweeping both arms overhead, breathing in through the nose. And then exhale as you simply breathe out and bring the hands down by your sides. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, moving with the breath. And exhaling as you sweep those arms down by your sides, leave the palms of the hands face down onto the ground. Let's take a bridge, imprint the back, lifting the tailbone. Take the bottom off the ground as you press your hips all the way up as high as they will go. As we roll down, we ripple through the spine, inviting every vertebrae to touch the mat on the way down. And as the bottom touches the ground, we start again. So you lift the tailbone, press through the feet, start to open out through the front body as the hips level up at the top of your bridge. And then control as you draw the belly button towards the spine. Activate through the core as you massage through the spine. Let's combine the arms and the bridge roll. So as you lift the tailbone, we lift the arms. As you press the hips up towards the ceiling, both hands come overhead. And then as you ripple down through the spine, invite the arms to move at the same rhythm and the hands touch the ground at the same time as the bottom. Let's repeat that one more time. So lifting the tailbone, lifting the hands, sweeping, opening through, building some heat through the back chain of the body, and then control as we ripple down, nice and slow here, leaving the bottom on the floor, simply taking the arms only. Inhale as you sweep the arms over, interlace your hands together, and now I invite you to bring your hands behind your head. So my elbows are on the ground. So we're working on opening out our chest first. So let's settle here, elbows wide, pressing into the ground. Again, making sure that spine is not arching too much. So draw the belly towards the back to activate the core. Now let's take an abdominal crunch. Exhale as you lift the head and shoulders. Eye line looks through the legs. Inhale as we control and lower. Let's go again. So we exhale, lifting the head and shoulders, eye lines looking through the legs. Inhale as you slowly control down. So make sure the hands are supporting the head. You're not pulling the neck. There's a little gap between the chin and the chest the entire time. You're not pulling the body up. We are activating the core muscles, which are shortening, therefore lifting the chest off the ground. And we are defying gravity as we go down. We don't simply plop back down onto the floor in a heap. We control the lower as much as we concentrate on going up. Let's do one of each. So I'm going to take one slow abdominal crunch here, working through the core. And then as I put the head onto the ground, one bridge, press through the feet, squeeze the bottom, lift the hips high. Control that roll down, massaging the back. As the bottom touches the ground, we come into one abdominal crunch. Slowly putting the head down, elbows touching the ground too, and then peel that bottom off the floor. Press through all 10 toes and controlling as we come down. Let's do that sequence once more. Basic crunch. Exhale, lift up a little higher, smoothly lowering down, and then softly peeling the tailbone off, pressing the hips high, and making our way back down to the ground. Let's leave the head and shoulders down, leaving the elbows wide. We peel one foot off the floor, right knee to chest. Control as we replace that foot and alternate, change sides. So I'm drawing one knee in towards the chest at a time. Now we're going to incorporate the lower abdominals. So as you gently bring that knee towards the chest, think about your lower tummy. Okay, so we're activating now the TVA muscle, which is the big muscle that runs near the pelvic floor. So belly button down area. Again, be careful as you place that foot back down, making sure the lower back is not having too much movement. We want to control the stability of the spine by strengthening through our lower tummy, okay? Now, if you'd like to, as you draw a knee into the chest, I add the upper abdominal crunch at the same time, and then control as we delicately put the foot and the upper body back down onto the ground. So with all of your Pilates techniques, move slowly and controlled. Use the muscles to create the movement rather than the momentum just throwing you up and down. So I'm really tightening through the tummy as I draw the knee into the chest, trying to keep the elbows wide so my chest is always open. We're working on gorgeous posture here. And I'm sliding the ribs down towards the hips to activate through the upper abdominals, okay? So exhaling, breathing out as you come up, inhaling as you go down. Let's try 2 more. Breathing out as we lift. Don't pull on that head, just simply supporting the neck. Last one here, exhaling as we come up. Now we're going to control and lower, leave the head on the floor, bringing the right knee in towards the chest now, sliding the hands out from underneath your head, interlace the hands over the right shin and drawing that leg in towards you now. So don't be afraid to pull that leg in towards you, a gorgeous little stretch through the bottom, the lower back, in case you're carrying any tension there. And now we're going to extend, hold the back of that right leg, taking it up for a hamstring stretch. Now this is quite an intense stretch, okay? If you'd like to hold the thigh, that's fine. If your knee is slightly bent today, no dramas. Or maybe you'd like to use a prop. You could hook a towel, a jumper, a band, one of my bands, or something like that around the leg so that you've got an assistance to hold on to. Whilst we're here, we're going to flex and then point the toes. So I'm simply flexing, pulling the toes right back and then gently pointing. So moving into the ankle a little bit now as well, and also going deeper into that hamstring stretch. So all the way down the calf and down the back of the leg. Really important to focus on these stretches as well so that we look after the body. You only get one of them, very important to look after it. Let's allow that foot to relax, so just soften it. Leaving the leg where it is, I'm going to slowly bring the palms of the hands back down onto the ground. Let the shoulders settle. Now we're going to simply lower that right leg down in the direction of the ground. Only go as low as you feel comfortable. And then sweep that leg back up towards the ceiling. So again, I'm going to lower that leg down in the direction of the ground. It doesn't have to come all the way. And then we sweep it back up. If this is too intense, if you're feeling it in your back, please bend your knee and make this movement similar, but with a bent leg instead of a straight leg. Okay, so this is a modification, which is absolutely fine. You could make the movement smaller. You don't have to come all the way down. So maybe you've still got a straight leg, but your movement is just to here and back. And if that's where you need to be today, then great, okay? As long as your back is being supported, your tummy is switched on, and we are exhaling as we lower down, making sure your head is completely rested on the ground and the shoulders are falling into the ground as well. Think about extending that leg not only down, but away from you at the same time. Try and lengthen that leg out of your hip joint. So we're really working on elongating through the entire body. Let's do one last time as we exhale, lower here. Sweep that right leg all the way up. We're going to bend the right leg. Now place the foot, the ankle on top of the thigh, flexing that right foot. Now press your right knee away from you. So I'm really finding a connection between my right foot and the thigh to push that right knee away. So you feel a gorgeous stretch around the hips, the pelvis. This is called a figure 4 stretch, okay? Just to work into that lower tummy a little bit without using the assistance of your hands, I invite you to simply lift your left foot off the floor and try to bring that left knee in towards your chest whilst pressing your right knee away. So not only are you getting a really great glute stretch, the glutes are the big muscles of your bum, you're also firing up that lower tummy by holding the legs in this position. So shoulders down, head down, pulling the left knee towards you, pushing the right knee away, and breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's slowly pop that left leg down. Readjust, pop your right foot down too. And then when you're ready, invite the left knee into the chest. Interlace the hands over the shin and ease that left leg in towards you. Making sure we're pressing the shoulder blades into the ground, so we're working on our posture. Another very important part of our Pilates classes. And the head and the neck are fully relaxed. Extending that leg up, finding a hamstring stretch. So going gently here, like I said earlier, the thigh, the calf, maybe using a prop, could be a tie, a dressing gown cord, anything like that. Slowly flexing and then pointing that foot. So moving slowly here, acknowledging how that feels in the calf, in the ankle. Like I say, you might be a beginner taking this class, so your body might be exploring its way around, trying to figure out how some of these postures and these exercises feel. Or you might simply be wanting to go a little gentler today. Maybe you're not quite feeling some of the more advanced, faster paced classes, and this just might be a perfect way to add some movement. Whether that be softer than usual, it doesn't matter, but we're simply adding some movement into your day. Let's allow that foot to soften, allow that foot to relax, placing both hands down by your sides, a straight leg lower as I sweep the left leg down towards the ground, and then control that movement as I come all the way back up. So I'm going to lengthen that leg away, so not just down, it's going away, being careful of the back movement, and then sweeping as we come up. Knowing if that knee's slightly bent, that doesn't matter. Okay, using your exhale as you lower, inhaling as you sweep all the way up. Think about really activating the lower tummy here, scoop and hollow. No wobbling, no movement through the lower back. Simply lengthening that left leg away and controlling as you bring it all the way up to the ceiling. Last one here. Your range of movement, your levels, and then bending that left leg, popping the left foot flexed on top of the right thigh and pressing that left knee away from you. Get that gorgeous opener through the hip, the groin, taking a breath here as we open out through the lower body. And then to work that lower tummy, peeling the right foot off the floor, bringing that right knee towards the chest without the assistance of arms, and pressing that left knee away from you. Spine is long, spine is lengthened. Simply bringing those legs towards you, activating that lower tummy and slowing down your breath. Reset that foot down, popping both legs onto the floor and gently rolling onto your left side. We're going to pop your left hand behind the head and have your right hand gently on the ground, okay? So let's bend both knees here. So both knees are bent. We're going to simply stack our hips. The right hip is stacked on top of the left. Try not to roll back onto the fleshy part of your bottom. We lift the right knee up and lower down. So a gentle clam as we lift and lower the top leg. As you lift that leg, don't roll back. The movement doesn't have to be that big. We're simply going to work the obliques here into the waist and into the hip, the glute area. So a gentle lift with that right leg as you lift that top knee and controlling as you bring it down. Like I said earlier, try not to roll backwards. Keep the right hip on top of the left. Just simply make the clam movement smaller, and that is absolutely fine. Let's go for 2 more of these. Exhaling up, inhaling down. Last one here. And then I invite you to straighten your right leg now, keeping the knee facing forwards. Press your left knee back so your thighs are in line with one another, and you're still stacking so the right hip is still on top of the left. I'm going to tap the floor with my right foot and then simply lift it up. So I tap the right foot down and then lift the right leg up. Now keep that right knee facing forwards. The hip is closed because we want to work the outer side of the hip. I'm not rocking back or forwards, simply staying on one long line here. Exhaling as you lift that leg. Try pulling up through the thigh, so really engaging the thigh muscle. So we're working the entire side body here. So it looks quite gentle and easy, but you should start to feel quite a bit of fire around the hip, the glute area, okay? Let's see if we can lift and hold. So lift and hold. That flex and point that we did earlier, you're going to flex the foot and then point. So I'm keeping the right leg lifted, keeping the knee facing forwards, the hips are stacked, and I'm simply flexing and pointing that foot so that I really get into the calf, help extend and fully straighten that right leg. We're going to do 3 more of these, just to really work into the side body. After your last one, I invite you to pop that leg down, straighten the left leg as well, and roll onto your fronts when you're ready. So we're going to come onto our fronts, one hand on top of the other, and the forehead rests down onto the hand. So there's no creases in the back of the neck. The shoulders are fully relaxed. We extend one leg up and off the floor. So we lift one leg, lower it gently back down, and we lift the other. So we're alternating leg lifts here. Try to keep the leg long. So instead of just thinking about going up towards the ceiling, think about lengthening that foot to try and touch the wall behind you. That's where you'll get that sensation of the leg coming away from the hip and really extending through these muscles. Try to keep the hips square to the ground, no twisting. That way we fully work into the lower back area, which is where we're trying to strengthen today. And it's very important that we keep these legs straight so we're not working into the hamstring, which is the back of the thigh. We are firing up into the lower back as well. Let's leave both legs on the floor now, keeping the feet relaxed. We exhale as we lift the head off the hands, pushing the forearms into the ground. The eye line stays looking down, and then we control as we lower back down. So exhale as you lift the head, but keep looking at your hands. Push your forearms into the ground and then control as you come back down. So like I said earlier with the abdominal crunch, same thing here. It's not just about coming up that matters. It's the control, the precision as we make our way back down. Think about creating space through the spine. So really lengthening, not compressing down into the back. And working the entire back chain of the body from the shoulder blades, down the spine, into the lower back, into the bottom, and into those legs. Let's do one last time here. See if you can press, lengthen, and lift a bit higher. Gently making your way down, and now you can just roll directly onto your right side. I am going to flip round just because I like to look at the camera, so I'm talking to you, not so that you're looking at my back, but we're going to come onto our right side. So the right hand is behind the head, both legs are bent, the left hand is on the ground, your hips are stacked. Remember we spoke about this, left hip on top of the right, and now we're going to gently lift the left leg and lower. So nice and subtle here, just taking a gentle clam, trying not to rock backwards, scoop and hollow the belly. So I talk about scoop and hollowing the belly a lot. I just keep trying to remind you throughout the Pilates class, because what will naturally happen is the tummy muscles will get so used to that positioning, that hold, they will do that all the time, and that's what looks after your lower back when you've got that core control that just switches on all the time. So it's quite important for me to remind you of that so that gradually, even off the mat, you will switch on these core muscles without even having to think about it. It will be second nature. Okay? So if I do keep repeating myself saying scoop and hollow, draw the belly towards the spine, it's only because I'm trying to remind you so that hopefully it just sticks in there. Okay, last one here. And then we're going to extend that top leg. Do you remember? We straighten the top leg. Now you're going to push the right leg back a little so the thighs are in line with one another. Make sure your hips coming forwards. Then we tap the floor with the left leg and lift. So we tap the ground and lift. Now again, we're working into the obliques, into the glutes, the hip. We're going to support that hip joint. Very important to build strength around these joints so that they are looked after. They are stable and strong. Think about extending that left leg away from you. So yes, these moves are quite simple today and there's no advanced exercises in here, but that doesn't mean that you won't get a great workout. So very subtle, but it's definitely going to give you a strength session at the same time. So using that out breath as you lift, notice the speed I'm moving. Try not to be going too fast. Try and control the movement. And take your time with every exercise that you do. Let's lift that left leg and hold. We're then going to flex and point. Great movement for the ankle, for the foot. A gorgeous stretch into the calf. And it will even help you keep the legs straight. So you really want to activate through the front, the back of the thigh. Keep squeezing the glutes so the hips are not rolling backwards. And again, scoop and hollow. Let's do 3 more. Using the breath as you move. Last 2. And then we've got 1 more time here. Beautiful. Let's pop that leg down, bend the knees, press yourself up to a seated posture whenever you're ready. So we're going to come seated. Make sure you've got some mat space behind you. Having the feet flat on the floor and the knees parallel. We're going to place both hands behind the spine. Take a couple of shoulder rolls here, ensuring the shoulders are away from the ears and making sure that spine is lovely and long. All of that space that I mentioned earlier. We spend a lot of time crouched over. So let's really try and lift and lengthen up and out of the hips. Let the shoulders settle here into a C curve. Chin to chest. Draw the belly to the spine as you tuck your tailbone under. Make the letter C with your back. Inhale as you lift up, lengthen and find that space. So exhale, chin to chest. Draw the belly towards the spine. Scoop and hollow. Inhale as you come up. Crown of the head is lifted towards the ceiling. So this is a gorgeous pose for Pilates. Beginners, a great way to get that shape through the spine that we work on. Also a lovely way to stretch out through the back and to work on lifting through our posture. So a great one to come back to again and again, working on moving with our breath here. So tucking under, squeezing in, and then lifting and lengthening as we peel up. Let's do 1 more time here, rounding through that spine, lifting and lengthening. Now we're going to straighten both legs. Inhale as you reach the arms up to the ceiling. So try and find that long spine. Okay, so we're lifting, we're making space. Hands over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Then we're going to interlace the hands, cup the hands behind the head, peel the elbows wide. We're simply going to stay here with a lovely long lifted spine, peeling the elbows back. Then I invite you to flex your feet so your heels pop off the floor and then point the toes. Let's do that again. So we flex the feet, try and get the heels to lift and then point the toes. 1 last time, flexing, lift those heels up, 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 up. And then point the toes. Now allow the feet to relax. Just soften the feet. Inhale as we lift and lengthen the arms again. Floating the hands down by your sides. Don't reach the toes. You're going to simply creep your fingertips forwards. Notice I hinge from the hips here, not from the back. Not curving, collapsing. I'm hinging from the hips as I creep the fingertips forwards and simply settle here. So get the fleshy part of the bum out of your way, hinging from the hips, so don't collapse the upper body. And we're not worrying about reaching the toes. We're simply focusing on finding length, feeling the backs of the legs gently opening up. Try not to bend the knees. They can be soft, but trying not to fully bend them. If you are finding it really struggle to keep them straight, maybe sit onto a pillow or a block, something like that, okay? We're going to stay here for one more little breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then I invite you to curve your back over. So then we round through the back, let the chin drop down to the chest. Maybe the arms come a little further forwards, maybe they don't, okay? Don't force it. Allow the elbows to be bent, the shoulders to be soft, the head to fall heavy. Taking a gorgeous breath. Maybe you want to try flexing the feet. See if that helps you. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. Let's take one last moment down here in our hamstring stretch. And then gently roll yourself all the way up. Bending those knees, bringing the soles of the feet together. Interlacing the hands, cupping the hands over the toes. Try and ease the heels towards you and just gently pulling yourself forwards. Dropping those knees out to the side, easing yourself forwards. Taking a breath, soften the shoulders, bend the elbows. Don't think about having your head on the floor or having your knees touching the floor. Just go to wherever you go to. And that's something really important when you go into some of the more advanced Pilates classes. Don't think that you should be doing something that you're not ready for. If, for example, I'm doing a straight leg lower with one leg in tabletop and with my head in abdominal crunch, if you're thinking that is not for me, I'm just going to stick with my straight leg lower, know that that's exactly where you need to be. Okay, everyone has different days, everyone has different bodies, and everyone has different moods, and you just have to do what feels right for you. And I really want you to take that with you so that you don't feel uncomfortable about joining in any Pilates class that you want to. You just modify it so that it suits you. Peel yourself up, bring those knees together, and you are done. I hope you have enjoyed that soft and subtle Pilates class today. Let me know how you found it, and hopefully I will see you on the mat again really soon.